Hello and thank you for joining the last edition of Journalist Hangout this week. I'm Ayodele Uzubakun. Today on the program, former Governor of Borno State and Director General of Tinubu Campaign, Senator Shettima, speaks with Journalist Hangout on APC and consensus gamble. I'll be hanging out with Babajide Kolade Otitoju. So if you're ready, let the hangout start now. Thank you for staying with us. All eyes are on the ruling All Progressive Congress, APC, to pick a presidential candidate for the 2023 elections after other major political parties had concluded their own primaries. With 3 days to the APC convention, two issues are dominating the discussions. President Muhammadu Buhari's request to APC governors to allow him have a say in who succeed him in 2023 and the talk of picking a consensus candidate from the 23 aspirants vying for the tickets. Or we await is Monday and see how things will play out. Jide, but I can't confirm this readily because I don't have names yet, but it said that the Oyegun-led committee they disqualified 10 of the aspirants. No names, nothing. It's just from grapevine. But I've learned not to actually take all these stories hook, line, and sinker, especially breaking from the social media like that.
Yes, the fullness of time will know the exact situation of things. One thing that we are sure of is that the APC must have its primaries.
Yes, whether they've
run out of time,
go back and forth, do anything,
they've run out of
try
time.
The last minute intrigues.
They've waited for the opposition to
set their own. They have Atiku Abubakar now.
They have to do their
own. Now APC, there's no hiding place.
The ball is firmly in their court now. They have to do their own.
They've gone through their House of Assembly election. They've gone through their senatorial, gone through their governorship. Now it's the presidential one. You can't ask INEC again to extend. We know these guys of IPAC. It's just to buy time under the name IPAC. Now there's no way to hide again.
Nowhere.
So Monday, Monday is Monday.
Mike Tyson said, the boxing ring is a lonely place. Everyone imagines himself to be capable of winning until they get hit in the jaw. So the contest has to happen. Nigerians have waited and waited. You see, people will wonder what is going on. Why are they talking about it? Why are they talking about this? Some people go on social media to misquote us. Somebody went to Kunu, Adeni Kunu's page to say that I used the word we, that President Buhari should not force a candidate on us. I wasn't using the word us. I was referring to the APC. I'm not a member of the APC. I'm not a card-carrying member. If you are aware of the place where I procured my card for APC, tell the whole world. Snap the picture, show people. I don't belong to the APC, but I belong to Nigeria. If the APC gets it right, as the ruling party, Nigeria will get it right. This is the logic. And
the beauty of it is that you hear them, they say, we don't watch it again. I still saw that
one. No, that's the you don't watch it again. They don't watch it. So who are the people watching? Yes, if I say something, you get to know. Like Jide said this. How do you get to know that
you don't watch it again?
What you don't watch? Why do you fool yourself? Why do you fool yourself? Don't just misquote us. We are doing our job.
Yes, sir.
Not doing our job. We want the best for our country. It's as simple as that.
Okay. To the business of the day, joining us now for an extensive discussion on the APC and consensus gamble is a former governor of Borno State and Director General of Bola Tinubu Campaign, Senator Kashim Shettima, an orator and journalist delight any time. Thank you for joining us, distinguished Senator.
Thank you so much. I'm quite glad to be with you.
Good to see your face again after many years.
A fan of Journalist Hangouts.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Oh, he's a fan of things good.
All right. Your principal, Bola Tinubu, has traversed the country to garner support for his presidential aspiration. How will you describe the reception and the acceptance accorded to him nationwide?
Well, the reception accorded to our candidate, we have been having tumultuous welcome in all the locations we have visited. We were in Ibadan yesterday to a tenderest ovation by our kith and kin, by our party supporters in Oyo and Ogun State. And actually, with the emergence of former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, the dynamics has all completely changed. If our party is desirous of winning the 2023 elections, picking Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu is almost a fait accompli. Amongst our presidential aspirants, and with no intent to demean any of our illustrious countrymen, Asiwaju is the only candidate with the pedigree, with the brand name, with the political IOUs, and the reach across the length and breadth of this country to stand shoulder to shoulder and even overwhelm former Vice President Atiku Abubakar because of his stature and pedigree. Any attempt to explore other options, yes, the party has every right. We are in a democratic dispensation, but I am afraid it might be catastrophic for the party. I am not a prophet of doom. I am an eternal optimist. We have done our own bidding, and by God's grace, our candidate will emerge as the presidential flag bearer of the APC in the next 72 hours. By God's grace, it's not a subject of dispute, but a question of time. He has paid the price. And yesterday, in Abeokuta, he made some remarks that were deliberately distorted and misquoted out of context. And this is something that I've been saying repeatedly. But because those that have nothing to show wants us to go low. And honestly, we are not interested in having conversations with obsessions with the mundane. We want to have genuine conversation on how to move this nation forward. And SHS Aga said the truth that men prepare not to hear is often the truth that sets them free. The truth that sets men free is most often the truth that men prepare not to hear. Whether Asiwaju's opponents like it or not, whether they are willing to admit it or not, he played a pivotal role not only in the emergence of President Muhammadu Buhari as the candidate of the APC, but in the ultimate election in 2015. This man, this poor man, has been subjected to the most vitriolic of attacks. But as one Hinds magazine cover story said, the man the fly bodies around and disturbed a man with a pestering sore. But when this man grabs the fly and throws it into his mouth, the whole world will erupt in a cacophony of exclamations and reprimands. What has he said that I have not said a different poorer? But out of sheer mischief, they have gone to town with the story that Asiwaju is claiming to have been instrumental in the election of President Muhammadu Buhari. HS Aga, again, Charles Pressfield quotes, so neither in what it gives, nor in what it does not give, nor in its most of presentation was the unclouded pace of truth so far wrong. Comment is free, but facts are sacred. In 2011, presidential elections. President Muhammadu Buhari, as the CPC candidate, got 2,689 votes in Ekiti State. He got 17,654 votes in Ogun State. The president got 6,997 votes in Osun State. Juxtapose the performance of the president in 2011 with what he performed in 2015. He got 308,290 votes in Ogun State, 383,603 votes in Osun State, and 120,133 votes in Ekiti State. Facts do not lie. The president has been performing very well in the north. But in 2003 elections, in 2007 elections, in 2011 elections, despite his captive votes in the north, we couldn't cross the Rubicon. It was this alliance, this partnership, this handshake across the Niger that brought forth the Buhari presidency. So just because you hate a person, you shouldn't demonize such a person. He has paid his price and he deserves to be treated with respect and dignity. That's our own position. And in 2015, President Buhari got 15,424,921 votes as against the 12,853,121 votes obtained by President Goodluck Ebele Jonathan. The difference between the two contenders was a mere 2.5 million votes. And how much did we got from the South-West plus Edo State? We got 2.644 million votes. That was what made us win the election. And even prior to that, let me tell you a story. A famous traditional ruler in northern Nigeria led a group of his colleagues and met with Ashwaju. He told Ashwaju that Buhari is not for us. Don't support Buhari in our own name. Subsequently, a group of retired army generals also approached this gentleman and told him, not in our name. We are not with Buhari. A group of intellectuals, the northern establishment led by a professor, they equally approached Ashwaju and told him, not in our name. We are not with Muhammadu Buhari. Again, from his home state of Katsina, they came to him and said, look, he's one of us. He's from Katsina, but we are not with him. Against all odds, this gentleman stood by the president. And in the 2014 presidential primaries, without the block votes that the Southwest gave us, President Buhari couldn't have clinched the trophy. That's the brutal truth. All those clowns, all those political anarchists, political jobbers and charlatans who are now dropping the president's name, I call them members of the Buhari's Church of Latter-day Saints. Why were they? That's $1 million question. I know. When push comes to shove, we can even name names. Some of them were working assiduously to see to the emergence of Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso as the presidential flag bearer of the APC. Some of them were working for former Vice President Atiku Abubakar. Very few of us stood by the president. My own state chairman, who were approached with $3.5 million to vote for a particular candidate. We refused. So I believe that, let's do justice to this man. And any leader, any presidential flag bearer that will truly want to defeat the PDP candidate, we don't have any other person than Ashwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu.
All right.
He has the pedigree,
Senator Kashim,
and the exposure to make things happen. Yes, sir.
Okay, let me ask you, let's talk about the All Progressive Congress preparation for this presidential primary. There's been a lot of back and forth.
Yes, sir.
Now, how would you describe their preparation this time around? It has been scheduled to hold on Monday, the 6th of June.
Well, we have to give the national leadership of the party the benefit of the doubt. We believe that they are working assiduously for us to have a hitch-free presidential primaries in the next 72 hours. It's not a subject of dispute. As I said, it's a question of time, and time solves all problems. I believe that the convention will hold, and by God's grace will emerge victorious.
The PDP has jettisoned zoning to pick a presidential candidate, from the north, despite popular demand for power to shift to the south in 2023. Do you think your party, the APC, can redress this?
Well, my own take on this is simple. APC itself is an amalgam of contested interests. It came into being. It was a child of necessity. The APC was born out of a merger of the ANPP, of the ACN, of the CPC, of ABGA, Rochas, Okorochas, ABGA, and of course the new PDP. Power has resided in the north for the past 8 years. Equity, justice, and fairness demand that power should move to the south. We are a long nation. There are some countries that are as old as the history of humanity. India, Egypt, China. But we are a young nation where there are issues of inclusivity, of a sense of belonging. And we have to get things right. And opportunity will take us nowhere. Some people say anything goes in politics. Believe me, not everything goes in politics. The irreducible minimum is for a power shift to the southern part of the country. All those charlatans, political jobbers, political anarchists, are not knowledgeable about the history of this party. They do not have institutional knowledge of how the party came into being. And there is no any ironclad guarantee that picking a candidate from the north will give us victory in 2023 election. Let me be very brutally honest with you. Apart from Professor Babagana Umara Zulum, I dare you to name one single politician in the APC from northern Nigeria that is capable of generating 2 million votes on his own accord. Politics goes behind manipulating the system. Someone like Ashwaji Bola Ahmed Tinubu has invested in the political process for far too long. Those of us that are in Ashwaji's train, we did not jump into that train by accident. This is a man with a ferocious propensity of sacrificing his own comfort for the advancement of democracy in this country. When his contemporaries, political contemporaries, were trading their principles for some pieces of silver or a seat at the table in Abuja during President Olusegun Obasanjo's era, and in the process throwing their political allies under the bus, like the Rock of Gibraltar. These guys stood firm and provided a political alternative while they were being viciously hunted and humiliated by the ruling PDP. When the wily old general from Abeokuta blood John and roasted his other AD colleague, this gentleman had the wits, had the guts, had the wisdom to stand firm and protected his own terrain. And from his lonely but active redoubt in Lagos, he was able to reclaim the stolen mandates of John Kayode Fayemi in Ekiti, of Raoub Aregbesola in Osun, of Adams Oshomole in Edo, of Tunde Mimiko in Ondo. And by 2011, he had largely gotten rid of the putrid smell of the PDP in the Southwest. He began the process of dismantling the PDP rigging apparatuses in the Southwest. And this eventually culminated in the formation of the APC in 2013 and the subsequent dethronement of the PDP in 2015 general elections. I'm going down all this memory lane for Nigerians, especially those with memory amnesia, to appreciate the role that this gentleman played in the evolution of democracy in this country. It is absolutely treated with respect, utmost respect and dignity. He has the right to be given the option of his refusal. Not only demonization, deliberate concoction of lies, it won't take us anywhere. And the APC, we do not have any candidate that can beat Atiku Abubakar better than Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. And if you want me to analyze the candidate, yes, the Prophet of Islam.
I know you can go on and on. So,
now, there are those who have been telling us that since 1999, Northeast has not produced the president. Northeast is the geopolitical zone where you come from. Where do you stand on this kind of agitation?
okay, before the distinguished senator gives a response to that, Jide, let me quickly take this breather. We have to pay some bills. When we come back, we'll talk more. Please keep your dial locked. Okay. Welcome back. It's your favorite news and current affairs program on television, and I still have the Metro Babajide Kolade Otitoju in-house, and we've been talking to the Director General of the Tinubu Campaign Organization. That's the former governor of Borno State, that's Senator Kashim Shettima. Jide, before we went on break.
Just before we went on break, Senator, I reminded you of some of what our friends are saying, that since 1999, the Northeast has not produced the president of Nigeria. By the grace of God, you come from the Northeast. Where do you stand on it, on this?
My position is simple. That the North and the South in the Nigerian political configuration. The Northeast is a constituent part of northern Nigeria. And for me, as a Kanuri man, there's a very thin line that divides me with someone from Katsina or Jigawa. I'm a Kanuri man with Fulani blood in my veins. So we're essentially one people, having the same culture and almost the same religion. So the issue at stake is how to do the balancing act in the Nigerian Federation. After all, Tafawa Balewa is from the Northeast. Former Vice President Atiku Abubakar is from the Northeast. So it's not a sufficient reason for us to agitate that power must come to the northeast. And most importantly, we have to look at the mood of the nation, how to build a modern Nigeria where all constituent parts of the federation should have a sense of belonging. And it's all about winning elections, certainly. And I don't want to go personal. For one, the president of the Senate is my kinsman. He's my brother. We are from the same part of the world. But when it comes to leadership questions, it goes beyond kinship ties. If blood ties or kinship ties are the sole yardstick for picking leaders, I wouldn't have picked Professor Babagana Umara Zulum. A president of the Senate is a pace amongst equals. Yes, he has been in the legislature for the past 20 years. He was in the university just like myself. But a leader that Nigeria needs in 2023 must be a leader who understands the dynamics of how to run a modern economy. Tested and trusted leadership skills, and most importantly, someone who understands the Nigerian sociology. I'm not underrating him. But the truth of the matter is that, does he have the brand name that Ashwaju has? Can we satisfy the clamor for powership if we pick Ahmed Lawan? Go to Bende or Arochukwu or Apia, where my very good friend Senator Oju Uzo Kalu hails from, and ask them for Ahmed Lawan, Malam Ahmed Lawan. They will probably think of the successful cattle dealer over there. Go to Kaura Namoda or Kontagora and ask for Rotimi Amechi. I'm not running the contestants. They are my friends. They are my contemporaries. Maybe the Hausa man in Kontagora may think of Rotimi, the proprietor of Rote Private School somewhere, or Amechi, the patient medicine store dealer. And if you add Chibuike to the mix, you will further compound his misery. So we want a brand sale, a brand that we can sell. Someone with the reach, with the goodwill, with the track record. Take it or leave it. When he became the governor of Lagos State, Lagos was generating 600 million naira monthly SIGR due to his leadership. Lagos is now generating 51 billion naira IGR every month, and Lagos is the third largest economy in Africa. When he became the governor of Lagos, there was only one ambulance in the service of the Lagos State Ministry of Health. In Lagos, people were harvesting 50 deaths every morning. It was the most insecure city in Africa. When you are getting into Lagos through Maryland, there is a statue of a man. It's not saying welcome to Lagos, no. That statue is telling you this is Lagos. The Pier of Lagos was the beginning of wisdom. Many Northerners refused to go to the law school because of Lagos. But within a very short span of time, he has transformed Lagos into the most secure city in Nigeria. Why people from all our West African countries are trooping into the city on holidays. It has become a mecca of some sort. So why not follow the man who knows the road? It's as simple as that. It goes beyond sentiment.
All right, Senator.
They have done well. I cannot underrate. Sorry, sir, I cannot underrate the performance of Senator Lawan. He did well, especially with the PBI bill. But what was his climax? What was the touching point of his stewardship of an electoral bill that he successfully disenfranchised himself and his colleagues from voting? That's the hallmark of the past 6 months of our legislative work.
All right, there's been this talk about attempt to pick a consensus APC presidential candidate. Where do you stand on this?
Well, as per the issue of consensus, a lot of water has passed under the bridge. There are guidelines for picking a consensus candidate. And how those guidelines are to be met is $1 million question. We are approaching the primaries, less than 72 hours. Yes, some may step down for others. You and I know, my brother, we have the contenders and we have the pretenders. Certainly, there are some that might step down for others. But what I am foreseeing is going to be a keenly contested primaries where our candidate will emerge as the winner of the presidential primaries, inshallah.
But President Buhari is saying, President Buhari wants that, look, he's telling the governors, I deserve a right to have a hand in to choose who my successor is going to be. What's your take on this?
Well, in all fairness to the president, most of us governors, when we were leaving the scene, we had inputs on who becomes our successor. Some people will say it's undemocratic, but he is the president of this country. His input is absolutely essential. And Femi Adesina had come out to even shed further light. His input, as he rightly said, does not preclude other contestants from vying for the exalted office of the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Okay,
we respect him, we adore him, we love him, but we believe at the end of the day, the President is a Democrat and he will align himself with the aspirations of his party members.
Well, that's basically what our people want to see. They don't want the president to simply, by himself, pick a candidate. They want the will of the delegates to prevail. They don't want the president force-feeding a candidate on them. Now, my question is, do you foresee a situation in which your candidate could, for any reason, stand down for any of the people in the race? You see that happening?
Especially the favorites. If Mr. President,
especially if the president decides to anoint somebody.
And 24 hours to the contest, and Bola Tinubu
they appeal to him, Bola Tinubu, please.
You have to stand down.
Can you just step down? The president loves this person. He wants this person to succeed him. Can you just graciously let the president have his way? Do you see that happening?
People are underrating the president a great deal. And they are equally underrating the depth of his friendship with Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. They have come a long way. The president is a man of honor who is being grossly underrated. Yes, he's a very taciturn person. But if there is anyone, I'm telling you with all sensitivity, I'm not talking to you as a politician. With the array of contestants, it is incontestable that Asiwaju is not the best amongst equals. No. He is the leader amongst his mentees. Most of these people were his own, quote unquote, his own boys. And President Buhari, the President Buhari that I know sufficient enough, that I had cause to interact with at close range. If at all, the President is going to endorse anyone, that person is going to be Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Forget about all these charlatans and distractions, these political contractors who are doing other people's bidding. The President is a man of honor, is a man of conscience, is a man of conviction. And we are Muslims, for God's sake. What did the Quran say? Hadawul Isan ilal Isan. Is a prize for goodness, not goodness? This gentleman had supported northern Nigerian candidates in 4 electoral cycles, while others see divisions to exploit. In the 2015 election, the ethno-religious cleavages in this country were deliberately manipulated for political ends. But while others sees divisions, he sees avenues for collaboration and bridge building. And this is payback time. And I believe our president, our dear president, is much more smarter than we are willing to give him. He has kept seal leaves, just like I did. You know, I did not anoint Professor Zulum until the eve of the gubernatorial primaries. Because if I had done earlier, some of the more ambitious talks in my system might have even go after his life. The president said in one of his interviews, this is one of the reasons why he is shying away from anointing anyone. But I can assure you, with all sense of seriousness, that if the president is going to anoint anyone, that person is Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu.
You are saying that with your full chest?
Yes. Okay. I'm telling you, contrary to all these lies, half-truths and innuendos that are being bandied around, the ground realities are different from what these charlatans are talking about. The relationship between the president and Asiwaju is very deep. It's based on mutual trust and confidence. And in the fullness of time, you will see the truth.
You've had to join Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu in going around the country, flogging his body, coming back so late, sometimes at midnight, or even beyond midnight, you are returning to Abuja. I was in Abuja last week. You people were, or 2 weeks ago, you were in Maiduguri. You came back very late, in the early hours of the next day. As somebody who has gone around with him, and gone through the pains, how would you evaluate his physiological and mental readiness for the big task ahead?
Asiwaju is mentally lucid and alert, and the true hallmark of leadership is not the ability to carry a bag of cement. It is the ability to come up, the mental ability to come up with solutions, rational solutions to redeem your people and ensure the territorial jurisdiction of your nation. So President Roosevelt, the second president of the United States, he took over power at the time of the Great Depression of the 1930s. He led America through the Second World War. And because of the quality of his thoughts, he was able to transform the United States into a superpower. Mwai Kibaki, the late Mwai Kibaki of Kenya. He was confined to a wheelchair, but that confinement did not disable his abilities to come up with sound ideas for his nation, and his nation became much more stronger. There is this mischievous fixation on Asiwaju's age and physical strength. I find it quite amusing. I had that course to go around the country with him. And sometimes we'll come back by 1 a.m., by 12 midnight, and this gentleman will still attend to other guests and will go to bed by 5:30, and we'll be wide and alert by 10 o'clock for us to start another round of trips around the country. We are not preparing for the Olympics, but an institution that relies on the superiority of ideas. And who is better positioned than Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu to move this country to the next level? We were in Calabar the other day. The governor was reading out statistics. 48 billion tons of bitumen. We are importing bitumen to build roads. We are importing virtually everything. We have become the international dumping ground. Billions, the 6th largest oil and gas producing nation in the world, expending 1.6 trillion 1.6 billion on turnaround maintenance of our refinery, while you need only $90 million to set up a modular refinery. These are issues. Practical issues that need practical solutions.
Nigerians are also concerned about physical fitness, because from experience, from what's happened, what they've experienced, they don't want a situation that will be having any president that, again, with health issues, physical fitness. That's what Nigerians are saying, that look, the agility, the person that's going to be hands-on.
Let me tell you one thing. Ashwaju is physically and mentally fit to lead this country. Yes, he had kneecap surgery. What is wrong with that? He has never hidden his illness. He was in London for some couple of weeks. We all visited him. But he had no any serious internal ailment. In fact, let me be very honest with you. He is more healthier than I am. On our trips, I've seen him taking honey. I'm diabetic. I can't take honey. I've seen him eating all sorts of food items. So he is physically fit, he's mentally alert, and most importantly, he has the passion and aggression to transform this nation.
Let's talk about insecurity. During your time as governor
Of Borno State,
Boko Haram insurgency was really a very big problem. A very big problem. What is the state of security in Borno State now? Are we certain to win the war against the Boko Haram insurgency?
It's a very, very important question. There has been a sea change in our security portions in the last 1 or 2 years. This is why the chief of army staff or the president hails from doesn't really matter. We had the worst times when our own son was the chief of army staff. Now we are having a sigh of relief when the Sokoto man is the chief of army staff. So things are much better now than they were 3-4 years ago. We are still having challenges because the problems of the Boko Haram insurgency cannot be solved through military solution. There has to be a whole gamut of solutions. And my governor, in all honesty, he is doing excellently well in addressing the socio-economic challenges of the populace. He needs support, and the president is supporting him massively. And the road is long, it's tough. But no matter how long the night is, it must give way to the day. Stormy, the weather might well be, but it will rain forever. We are going to reach the promised land. We are going to cross the Nile. We are going to cross the Rubicon.
Yeah, thanks. Finally, yesterday, as has been done in the last few months, some people came up with the rumor that new candidates will be allowed to join the fray, new aspirants will be allowed to join the APC presidential primary fray, and that a certain aspirant and your governor will now be on the same ticket, that your governor will be the deputy to that aspirant. Is this a possibility? Do you know Professor Zulum sufficiently that you can tell us that he's not going to be deputy to anyone?
My brother, in Nigeria we claim to be Muslims and Christians. But religion has become a body of ritual devoid of practical value. We have God on our lips and devil in our hearts. But in Professor Zulum, I have a leader, a boss, a brother that I have absolute confidence in. He's one person who is less driven by personal ambition. And he's the hafiz of the Holy Quran, but he doesn't read the Quran just like some other charlatans are doing. He has internalized the Islamic faith. I can tell you with all certainty, yes, they have made efforts to lure him into the ring. But my professor, our Professor Zulum, will never take the bet. He's very much contented as the governor of Borno State, adding value to our state because we are living in very, very interesting time in the Northeast and in Borno State in particular. You know, the problem of 200 million black people, wallahi tallahi, is not President Muhammadu Buhari. There are some charlatans, some political jobbers, political contractors and opportunistic charlatans. They are not more than 10 in the whole of the Federation, holding the nation of 200 million people to ransom, coming up with satanic designs and plans almost every week. But I can assure you, with an air of certainty, that my governor is a man of honor. We are sticking to the amana. My governor is not an over-ambitious talk. He's contented as the governor of Borno State, and that's why he will going to, inshallah, excel and perform his work in the next, for the next 4 or 5 years.
Senator Kashim Shettima, we want to thank you and wish you the best of luck ahead of Monday. You need all the luck you can get.
Thank you for,
inshallah, we are going to succeed.
Thank you for the auspicious time that you granted us.
Thank you very much, sir.
In Nigeria, once you have a successor from different states, I've seen it. After 4 years, the center can no longer hold.
Yes, I always call
Look at the way he's talking about my leader.
He's calling him the boss.
My boss, my leader, Professor Zulu.
That's a person that he brought to
the government. He served as a commissioner.
He brought him from Ramat Poli, made him commissioner, and then made him governor. In our world, they don't even want you to own up to doing good to people. When you admit that you did good to people, they say you are equating yourself with God. Absolute rubbish. If you say I did this for this person, how is that a sin? How is that a crime?
Well, time up. The mention himself, Babajide Kola.
We are watching.
Yeah, on Sunday.
On Monday. On Monday,
TVC.
Okay, on Sunday we'll be here. Governor Ganduje will be our guest.
Ganduje of Kano State.
Governor Ganduje of Kano will be our guest.
And that's our offering today. Join us tonight on Sunday for another episode of the program. You can watch the repeat broadcast of this episode tonight. On Sunday, join us from 1:30 to 3:30 p.m. on Journalist Hangout on Sunday. We're on YouTube, youtube.com/TVC News Nigeria. I'm Ayodele Ozubakun. Have a lovely weekend. Bye for now, and God bless you.